welcome to our latest episode of So That Reminds Me, Reminder Publishing's bi-weekly podcast on Western Mass News. I'm Chris Mazza, and I will be your host for today's episode. Today, we have a very special guest, and that is Ken Harris, who is the writer and performer of a one-man show called Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard, which will be staged at the Northampton Center for the Arts at 33 Holly Street in Northampton on two dates, December 7th and December 14th. Ken was nice enough to join us for a conversation about his history with performing arts and a little bit about the upcoming show. So we appreciate him, and we will get right to that interview right after a few short messages.
We get it. You're busy, but you want to be connected to your local community. If you're not reading The Reminder, Western Mass's free weekly newspaper, you're missing out on the heartbeat of your town. Stay in the loop with all the latest buzz, from local stories to community updates and exciting events. It's all in The Reminder. Just log on to thereminder.com and dive into the hometown news you love. To subscribe to receive The Reminder at your home, call 413-788-1316. Don't miss a beat. Your town, your stories, your community for over 60 years. The Reminder. We are hometown news. Since the founding of Reminder Publishing over 60 years ago, The Reminder has brought local businesses together with their customers through our advertising and coverage. Over the past 4 years, The Reminder has been adding to its reporting and expanding our readership, while other newspapers in the region, state, and country have scaled back or closed. We want local community journalism to thrive and grow, and are asking our readers and listeners to support and participate. The Reminder Press Club's mission is to ensure that local journalism is sustainable and leading healthy community discussions. The Reminder Press Club is a way for you to support the crucial work of professional reporters covering the vital stories in our community. Learn more about the Reminder Press Club or join at reminderpressclub.com.
All right, and I am here with Ken Harris, who is the writer and performer of a solo stage show called Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard. Welcome,
thank you for having me.
Ken. If you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got started in the world of entertainment. I know you have quite the resume when it comes to whether it be on stage or video or even in print.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Springfield, Massachusetts, here in the Pioneer Valley. And one of my earliest memories that I do recall in my lifetime, I said 1979, is going to the movies or going to the mall. I come from a family who's so into the movies. I think throughout my lifetime, we've been going to either a drive-in movie theater or indoor theater once a week growing up. On top of that, my father was a amazing storyteller about his interactions with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. And I just felt this call to be a storyteller. I went to Commerce High School in Springfield, became an actor. And also during that time, I was really impressed with the life of Chaz Palminteri. He's the writer and performer of The Bronx Tale, which started off as a stage play in California. And Robert De Niro saw the play. They became friends, and then next thing you know, Robert De Niro is directing his movie. What I found amazing about the story of Chaz Palminteri is that he took an ideal, and without using other actors, he performed all the characters on the stage, which is amazing. And then I was doing some acting a little bit, and then I was also encouraged by that. And I said, hey, this is really something I want to do. This sounds really fun. Maybe someday I can do that. So I was affiliated with the Forest Park Drama Studio, took intermediate acting classes there. I was a member of the former Team Players drama group out of Northampton, Massachusetts. I took a lot of creative writing courses at STIC, online courses, and I've been in plays. Also, I work retail. So my experience working in Macy's and mall security at various malls throughout my work experience, I was able to take all this stuff, information, characters I work with, people that I met with, and come up with this very funny story that I've written for the stage.
All right. Well, some of your background, you've done some, I believe, some puppeteering and some things like that, creating some shows or some online shorts that have been used as entertainment and educational tools at the same time. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Well, as much as I was into the performing arts growing up, I was very shy as a child in elementary school. And a librarian took me aside and introduced me to puppetry, paper mache to be exact, and how to make puppets. And what she was trying to do was get me out of my comfort zone, so I interact more. So I fell in favor with puppetry at a very early age, and I just couldn't let it go. From time to time, I do puppetry from here and there. So I am a member of Puppeteers America. I've done some virtual puppet slams throughout the country and Canada, and then COVID hit. I believe it's 2018 or 19, and here I am sick. And then I heard about a film festival in Orlando, Florida, the F5 Financial Focus Film Festival, and I asked myself, while I'm hunkered up, why not just see if I can take this crazy idea for a movie about a grandparent scam and do all the characters myself. So I wrote and performed and filmed this short film just out of fun. I submitted it to the festival in Orlando, and I couldn't believe it. I was invited to the festival, and it won Audience Choice Award for 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a shock. So I said, wow. And it had me going back and thinking about Chaz Palminteri's one-man show, and I looked back on that and said, wait a minute. If I can sit here and perform all these characters and win an award for my film, maybe I can actually go a little further with this and do this on the stage. So, I mean, the idea of doing a stage show about retail has really been in the back of my mind for the longest time because it's never been done before. No one's ever took a solo show and just devoted to retail, shoplifting, organized retail crime. So my puppetry actually helped me break out of my comfort zone, and it allowed me to able to get that confidence that I needed. With that, I had a TV show in Florida out of Spondylix TV called Cyber Brats. So while I'm thinking about my show in the back of my head with this one-person show, I'm actually doing my puppetry. Mm-hmm. And I had this show on the Spondylix network for 2 years, and then when the network came to an end, I decided, and then I heard about the Eastfield Mall closing, and I said, wow. I worked at the Fairfield Mall. Mm-hmm. Worked at the Eastfield Mall, worked at Macy's and Enfield, and they closed. I said, why not just run with this? Then I just took these ideas that I had in my head, put it on paper, and then I came up with the story, Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard.
And we'll continue with more from Ken Harris after a few brief messages.
The holiday season is quickly approaching, and you can bring joy to a child's life with just one small act of kindness. The Salvation Army's Toy for Joy campaign is in full swing, and we are asking you to help make a difference. Your monetary donation will help provide thousands of Western Mass children with a toy and a book, filling their holiday season with joy and imagination. At Toy for Joy, we believe every child deserves to experience the magic of the holidays. Your support can help make this wish a reality. Visit give.salvationarmy.org/toy4joy today and give the gift of joy. Together, we can make this holiday season brighter for every child. Toy for Joy is a partnership between the Salvation Army, Reminder Publishing, and the Republican. Every month, Reminder Publishing's Go Local magazine features the best Western Mass and Northern Connecticut businesses, with articles on new storefronts, coffee shops, restaurants, and more. Go Local magazine is your resource to find the best businesses to frequent in the area. Go Local also features original recipes, how-to pages on festive crafts, a listing of places to go, and experiences to enjoy over the course of the month, and so much more. Pick up Go Local magazine at hundreds of businesses, banks, gas stations, and restaurants all over Western Mass and Northern Connecticut. Or check out Go Local magazine at thereminder.com.
So let's talk about Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard. Talk a little bit about what the premise of this story is and who some of the characters are and what they're dealing with.
Well, the theme of the story is a story of self-discovery. And what I find in a lot of plays and films, a lot of the story of self-discovery is centered on a person learning about themselves versus an older guy learning about themselves. So I thought it would be kind of cool if I took an idea about an older guy, me imagine myself still working loss prevention in my 60s, and run with that. So I thought that would be an interesting concept where you have the story of this elderly person working at the same store for 20 years and thinking that he's complacent and think he knows everything, and then he's put in a situation that he would like to avoid, and that is he's being promoted. Well, I shouldn't say promoted, but he's reassigned as a loss prevention detective. Meaning that instead of just walking around the store and looking nice and handsome, he has to tell everyone, hey, I think I saw you steal something. That makeup, can you please empty up your bag, please? He has to be more involved. So I thought that would be an interesting concept. And the characters that, whether it's the characters in receiving, the characters working in jury, the shoe department, these are all characters that I interacted with. These are individuals and situations and circumstances that actually happened at different times of my time working in retail. The story is what the story also offers is an inside look at the world of retail, which is not known to the average person, with shrink, how shrink can affect consumers. Shrink is money or merchandise that's lost for whatever reason, whether it's through internal or external thefts, or whether it's from incompetence or damage to the item that shrink. So not a lot of people know about that, and I figured, well, this would be great to put it on the stage. My character is an elderly guy named Steve Smelly. He's a widowed for 20 years, and he's looking to pay off his mortgage. He has 5 more years left to pay on his mortgage. And he has the district manager comes in and tells him the whole loss prevention department was fired for either stealing or doing this, and you're the only one left, so I'm going to reassign you to a loss prevention detective. And if you don't do a good job, you're fired. So the story takes place in the course of a shift where he's facing all these different obstacles, whether it's short change artists, whether it's return fraud, whether it's employee theft, whether it's employees not getting along, tattletaling, all that stuff. Here's this old guy, 68 years old, just trying to survive the day. And while he's doing this, he's learning about himself. And he makes he comes across something at the climax of the story that will just make the hairs on your neck stand on the back of your head, and you will ask yourself, what would I do in this situation? What would I do in this situation? I don't think I want to be in this guy's shoes. So it has an interesting premise, and it has a series of obstacles where he's going through the story. It's very fast-paced. It's an hour and 15-minute show, and it starts off as a comedy, but it starts to gradually become a drama at the end. So if the audience are leaving the theater, I would imagine them asking themselves, what would they do if they were in his Steve Smelly situation? So I think that's what will make it a groundbreaking, unique show.
Now, one thing that I think is interesting is you've got a bunch of different characters here that you're kind of assuming their personas. In developing all of these different characters, you're drawing a lot from your own personal experience, I'd imagine. But how much did it help? I'd imagine your previous experience with puppeteering, where you're basically creating characters, yourself. How did that experience help you in crafting these characters for the stage show?
What's interesting about my show, Cyber Brats, I took the backgrounds, because a lot of the people that I work with in retail, I don't know anything about their backgrounds as an upbringing, but my puppets, I did. So what I did was, for example, Gus Ghetto, he's Steve's best friend. They were both hired at the same time. Gus Ghetto is a character from my Cyber Brat show. Chuck, who is the manager of a radio station, and he says,
I'm your best friend, Steve. Never forget that. We've been friends for 20 years, and this store don't care about us. If they wouldn't care if you dropped dead or not.
So that's a character I had with my puppets. And also somebody I associate with that I work with. He sounded just like that. So I would actually take the characters and I would line them up, my puppet characters, and line them up with the characters that I actually knew in real life and find out if they're a good fit. If they connect, if they sound alike, if there's any similarities, then I'll take the background of my puppet characters and I would instill that into the character. You have Gus Ghetto, who's Steve's best friend. You have Mr. Coldstone, Harry Coldstone. He's like a Clint Eastwood, strict district manager, and he'll say, "I will fire you in a heartbeat." But he sounds a little different. He just sounds like he's really funny when he talks. Then you have Alex Midas. He's the guy who likes to snitch on his fellow employees in order to receive a Profit Partner Recognition Award. But Mr. Coldstone, the district manager, is always dragging his feet with giving awards out to Alex. And Alex is like, "Mr. Coldstone, I've been waiting 3 months for my Profit Partner Recognition Award, and I snitched on this employee. Where is my money?" "Oh, Alex, I almost forgot about your shoe department. I discovered why you're so short on your hiking boots promotion last week." "We had missing items. It had been a work of a shoplifter." "Wrong. Gus Gatto and Receiving only set up half of the inventory. The rest were buried under return merchandise." "Well, wait just a damn minute. We ran out of skis before the promotion was half over. You mean my department lost all those sales because Booger Boy and his minions thought we were out of stock?" "Your guess at Einstein." So that's Harry Coldstone. If you come to him with, "Hey, where's my reward?" or "Where's my raise?" he'll just take that and then he'll just toss it away, and he'll just attack you. And then you have Gus's ex-girlfriend, Susan Palmer. Susan suspects Gus of stealing. They used to date, but they're no longer dating. And she's always she runs to Steve with this. You're going to believe a former girlfriend who your best friend doesn't get along with, or are you going to believe your best friend who's been working there for 20 years alongside with you? "Steve, you know I don't steal. I've been working here 20 years. Don't listen to her, okay? She's just trying to stab me in the back." So you have all that gossip going on at the job. It also touches bases on short change artists. Short change artists is when an employee when handling money, and a customer will tell you, "Hey, you owe me $15," and you say, "No, I owe you $2." You don't hear a lot of that. So a lot of that goes on with the short change artists. So you have different types of retail crime and different types of shrink put into the story, so you could actually have a bird's eye view of all different craziness, what I call chaos on the stage going on there in the story with retail. So it's fascinating. Yeah.
Now, you've got a couple of shows coming up at the Northampton Center for the Arts on December 7th and the 14th at 6 p.m. So how did you end up getting connected with that theater and those shows coming up?
Well, I always knew that Northampton was a premier location for the arts. Even when I was with the Northampton team players, it originated from Northampton. So I know Northampton is very big on the arts. So I always knew that after I wrote this show, I did shows in Springfield, the Springfield Gasoline Alley, the Chicopee Knights of Columbus, and also at the Holyoke Media. But then I always wondered, well, I would definitely like to take this show to Northampton, because Northampton is just, there's all kinds of great stuff and entertainment and attractions going on in Northampton. So I looked at a lot, and Northampton Center Arts has a state-of-the-art facility, and I think it's been around for a few years. They took a building and they just modified it, and it's a great facility. I've been in there, so I said this is a great location to perform this show in Northampton. So I would encourage anyone who's interested in the arts to look at the activities on the Northampton Center Arts website, nca.org, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of great, whether you're into music, whether you're into flea markets or into the arts, to really give them a shot. Check them out. But I'm happy to have this opportunity to be performing this show there. And again, after next year, we're going to be bringing the show to the United Solo Theater Festival in New York City. It's the largest solo festival in the world. And I applied and I was accepted twice at 2 separate festivals next year. And I'm excited about that. There's many great Emmy Award and Oscar nominated actors involved, or Oscar win actors involved with that, like Forrest Whitaker, Susan Sarandon, Billy Crystal. A lot of great. So it's great to just take this idea of chaos on the stage and share it with the world. It's going to be really fun.
Well, that sounds like some great opportunities for you in the next year to kind of expand the reach of this show. So and congratulations on being selected for those.
Oh, thank you. I hope that with my task at hand, I just hope I can encourage other artists that when you look at performing a solo show, it may look like a daunting task, but you can do it. When I found out about the closure of the Eastfield Mall, it really hit me. I mean, I've really enjoyed the mall, and I worked there briefly. So I sat down and I took a piece of paper with this idea that's been in my head. It took me a week to write Photos of a Minimum Wage Guard, just on a notebook. It just took me a week to write it. Of course, I went back and I had to edit and do that, but I was so it was just what you call a spark that just got me there to do it, because of the Eastfield Mall closure. So you can do it. I would recommend that if you have a passion for solo performing, you just read as many plays as you can. There's a lot available on the public domain. There's also on Amazon, you can actually flip through a few solo performance books that are available online. You can look at them, see how they're made. And I would just say, how do I memorize an entire 1 hour and 15-minute script? I would say take it one page at a time. I actually set a goal, memorize 1 page a day. 1 page a day. And sometimes it may take 2 days to memorize a page. But then after 5 or 6 months, you will have it all down. So I have a lot of people come to me and say, how did you write all this? How do you memorize all this? I say, if you love it, if you enjoy the characters, they make you laugh. I've read this play about 100 times, and when I read it and I'm actually rehearsing, I'm laughing. The characters are they're hilarious. They all have their different ways about them that makes them unique, and it just makes you want to either laugh or cry, I should say. So it's a wonderful experience.
Well, and as you pointed out, there was something that caused the spark, and for you, this was the Eastfield Mall closing. But it's a lesson that you never quite know exactly where that spark may come from.
No, not. I mean, you can have an idea that just sit in your head for years and years, but then something like that, I've never thought I would sit down and say, hey, I'm going to write this thing out after the Eastfield Mall closes. No, because after the Eastfield Mall, when I heard about the pending closure, I reflected on the Fairfield Mall. I worked at the Fairfield Mall in Chicopee as security. I reflected on the Macy's in Enfield Square. I worked there. I reflected on the old Bay State Mall, which are still open in Springfield, downtown Springfield, Tower Square. I reflected on that, and it just made me just think about all the hilarious experiences that I would call my fellow security officers and friends. We always talk to each other on Facebook, or sometimes we're family members. We all get together. We talk about those things. We laugh, and we just have a great time remembering. But I'm thinking like, well, I'm a performer. Instead of sharing this with family members and friends, I'd like to share this with the world. I like to share these characters and these unique situations with the world, and it's different. It's different. I believe there is we looked at this myself. I studied this. Never in the history of theater has there ever been a theater show, or even a solo show as mine, that's devoted to retail, loss prevention, retail crime. It looks like I'm the first person in the world to highlight this, again, crazy chaos on the stage, to audiences. So it's great to do that. Not that I set out to do it, but it's, you write about what you know. I know a lot about retail. I know a lot about loss prevention and special policing. And I just said, well, this is something I know about, so I can actually write about it. I don't have to research a whole lot about it. I can also take the characters that I know, and I can just mash them up and put them in this story. and it's great. It's fun. I hope people can come out and see the show again. It's December 7th in Northampton at 6 p.m. and December 14th, the Northampton Center of the Arts at 6 p.m. It's going to be a great time, and we're going to be giving out free raffles. So everyone who's in attendance qualify for a free raffle. We're giving out gift cards and all kinds of gifts and merchandise. So it'll give that little retail feel for it. And don't worry, we're not going to be stopping anybody at the door for stealing merchandise. They'll let you slide this time.
Now, one thing, you've mentioned a few of the places that you've worked that are no longer there, the malls and such. The retail is changing a bit. Why do you think that this show still resonates with people?
I think a lot of people feel the frustration of the online. A lot of people, or they miss the experience, the in-person experience, and they like to reflect on it. And I think that with this show, it resonates with, you can reflect and you can feel and you can understand. You're like, hey, I've been there. I remember that. Oh, I seen that happen. It brings back memories because I grew up I was born in the 70s, but I grew up in the 80s when malls was at its peak. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the things that I seen and I heard and from my work experience, it's all put into the story. So anyone watching the show would feel a connection, aside from the comedy aspects of it. They would just look at it and say, hey, I remember that. I remember those department stores. I remember that happening. I can remember officers standing here. So it will bring back some fruitful memories.
Now, the show, of course, is on December 7th and December 14th at the Northampton Center for the Arts. How can people get tickets to the show?
They can go to my website, scriptropolis.com, or they can go to Eventbrite's, Foes of Minimum Wage Guard. You put that in there, and you can purchase tickets online, or you can purchase it at the door. We have a discount. It originally was $20, but with the holiday cheer we have going on here, where it's $15. So with $15, you get a great show, an hour, 15-minute show, and then you also have an opportunity to win some cool prizes that we'll have there for the audience members. And we're going to have a great time. We have the local comedian, Maverick Prasad.
Maverick, I'm sorry if I'm saying your last name wrong.
But Maverick will be there to do a little introduction before and also after the show. We're giving out prizes. So it's going to be a fun time. So if you're doing some shopping, if you're in Northampton, if you take a break from your Christmas shopping, stop by, come see the show. You will get a laugh. And you may have a little tear at the end. The ending, I don't think you're going to see what's going to happen at the ending. But you're going to be questioning what you would do in a situation like that. That's why this story is a story of self-discovery, because Steve Smelly is learning about himself as he's enduring these different obstacles that's coming his way. So it's going to be a interesting, laughable moment at the end. And then it'll also give you audience members an opportunity to reflect on, wow, I can't believe that happened. What would I do in that situation? What would you do in that situation? It'll get people talking.
All right. Well, Ken, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us. I certainly appreciate it. And everybody, I hope that you go out and enjoy Ken's show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that will conclude this episode of So That Reminds Me. Thank you to all of our listeners, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening to So That Reminds Me, produced by Western Massachusetts news source Reminder Publishing. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, find the latest news at thereminder.com, and follow Reminder Publishing on Instagram at Reminder Publishing, on X at The Reminder MA, and on Facebook. Reminder Publishing. We are hometown news.